So next up, we're gonna have Neutrino on board. They're a crypto collateralized stablecoin built on the Waves platform. So we have a video coming up, and then we'll do the usual Q&A.
Hey everyone, my name is Ilya Supranidi. I'm very pleased to represent my team at this conference. I'm a researcher at Neutrino protocol, which allows for the creation of crypto-backed price-stable currencies with staking rewards. And first and foremost, a little introduction about myself and the team that I work with. So I have a research background in complex systems, and ever since my university years, I've always been fascinated with systems in nature and society with emergent properties that tend to self-organize. So my academic work was devoted to multi-agent systems and networks. Hence, my interest in decentralized and distributed technology led me to working in the industry as a researcher for Neutrino protocol. It's important to mention in the very beginning that Neutrino is an open source project. It is the result of collaboration between several independent cross-functional teams. At this moment, the operational management of Neutrino as well as customer support are carried out by Waves Exchange. Our R&D team, Venture Lab, which I'm a part of, is led by Alexey Pupashev, a co-author of Neutrino protocol and a longtime evangelist of the Waves platform and decentralized technologies in general. Together with him and other amazing contributors, before launching Neutrino, we developed the online course Mastering Web3 and the first decentralized autonomous organization, or DAO, on the Waves blockchain. So I want to start with a very brief overview of our motivations for building this project. As you all know, decentralized finance, or DeFi, is a very hot market, which is coming to extend or even replace traditional financial services and products. This trend started to take shape during the previous year, and the Neutrino protocol public beta was launched in November 2019 as our contribution to that field. But why DeFi? Well, most financial products which are familiar to and used by many of us, such as credit, trading, investments, deposits, etc., they usually have expensive intermediaries, such as banks or brokers, and the entire process is centralized, almost never transparent. There are a lot of restrictions for becoming a client, such as age, occupation, residence, citizenship, etc. But luckily, DeFi may be the global democratic solution that we all have been looking for. As it is built on top of trustless and decentralized networks, it can give everyone the ability to use financial services without restrictions, intermediaries, etc. Right. So, since cryptocurrency is designed to be trustless and transparent, its price is determined by the supply-demand free market nature. This means that most of the time, the price is too volatile. It is almost impossible to use cryptocurrency as a stable sort of value exchange medium within financial services. And to change that, we need stable price currencies, or stable coins, which become a real core of all DeFi solutions. As you know, some stable coins, such as Tether, are collateralized by large fiat deposits. The main problem with this being that you can't get deposits are transparently managed. This can lead to the lack of trust, to misuse of funds, or potentially even to a disruption of the price stability. However, a new promising type of stablecoins is becoming popular, which are called algorithmic stablecoins. And USD Neutrino, built on the Neutrino protocol, is an algorithmic stablecoin which doesn't use the fiat reserve strategy. Instead, it uses the native token of Waves platform as the reserve currency, which is locked on the smart contract. Since the 25th of November, Neutrino has been in stable beta. But we're not stopping here. Many new milestones await us in the future. I'll talk about that. But before that, I was asked to make this presentation a bit technical, and I'm happy to do that. I hope that in these 15 minutes, I can give a glimpse of what Neutrino is like under the hood. So let's dive right in and talk about the basics of the Neutrino technology. As I said previously, the first synthetic asset that we introduced is called USD Neutrino. The main idea is that assuming that the market price of waves is always higher than $0, we can lock some waves tokens on some smart contract and generate a certain amount of USDN in exchange tied to the US dollar price. So overall, Neutrino protocol includes 3 types of tokens that are algorithmically intertwined through several smart contracts. Waves is the native token of the Waves public blockchain used as the reserve token, and USDN is the first stablecoin token based on the protocol. On cryptocurrency exchanges, this token tends to have an average price of about $1 US. Any deviation from $1 is by the arbitration mechanisms that I will describe a bit further. And last but not least, an SBT, Neutrino system-based token, which is the utility token of the Neutrino protocol that is specifically aimed to stabilize the reserves that back the USDN supply. Why do we need an SBT? In some cases, USDN cannot be fully backed due to a major volatility of the crypto market, or when the value of the underlying asset decreases greatly during, for instance, a bearish trend. To counteract this, we introduce a new token, an SBT, which ensures that if that happens and the value of waves depreciates, there is an incentive for users to replenish the reserves. And SBTs can be liquidated using the Neutrino smart contract during a significant growth of waves capitalization and reserve balance. In addition, SBTs theoretically can be used for payments within the Neutrino system and can provide its holders with voting rights for governance. At this moment, the Neutrino protocol implementation consists of 5 interacting smart contracts deployed onto the Waves blockchain. Neutrino DApp is written in RIDE, and RIDE is a very interesting beast because it is non-Turing complete. It's a language for smart contracts that has many features which make it, in our opinion, the best tool for the job. So on the whole, 5 types of on-chain and off-chain entities exist and interact with each other within the Neutrino system. First one is obviously users, and it can be anyone with a Waves account, which is usually managed through the Waves Keeper extension. Then there are price oracles, a set of predetermined accounts providing a market price from several crypto exchanges into the blockchain. Pacemaker oracles, those are Waves accounts that trigger transactions and process complex computations, and they are necessary because they are necessary for the system to run because of the non-Turing nature of the RIDE language. So there are no loops, no recursions in it. We have to have pacemaker oracles to trigger those transactions. Basically, the generation of USDN is made possible by a system of smart contracts and is carried out manually by Neutrino users. So there has been no pre-allocation or pre-mining of this token. Using swap function with the smart contract, either through the Neutrino decentralized application or directly by calling the public methods of the contract, is the only way to mint new neutrinos into circulation. And this can be seen at the current slide. On the smart contract, 1 USDN will always cost $1 US. Now, let's talk about the arbitrage opportunities that exist with Neutrino. When the demand for USDN on the exchanges grows and it drives the USDN price up higher than $1 US, traders can use this opportunity to profit by exchanging Waves tokens to USDN through the smart contract and then selling USDN on some exchange at a higher price. This action actually increases the USDN supply on the market and leads to price stabilization, bringing some profit to the trader who has used this opportunity. In the opposite case, the USDN supply on exchanges increases, which leads to the price of the USDN becoming lower than $1 US. So yeah, here's the correct slide. To earn a profit in that case, traders can buy USDN on the market and exchange it for waves through the Neutrino protocol smart contract, which will also lead to the stabilization of the price. During the swapping procedure, an updated exchange rate is constantly provided through a pool of external oracles that take the data from exchanges. The main task of the control contract is to validate and aggregate the price feed provided by those oracles. Each off-chain oracle has a connection to a crypto exchange, such as Binance or Huobi, for instance, that will provide a price feed. So the control contract will see the addresses of oracles, and each oracle provides a signature for the data point. If it turns out that some oracle is down and unavailable, the off-chain service tries to reconnect to a different IP address of the same oracle, because for the sake of reliability, each oracle IP addresses for the contract. This basically increases fault tolerance. Finally, 5 signatures are collected. The first oracle that receives the data feed from the rest invokes the method to update the price on the contract. Right, so this is a little bit about how the oracle system functions. Now, what if the price of the reserve token really goes down and the arbitration mechanics that I described previously are no longer sufficient? That's where an SBT, or Neutrino system-based token, comes into the picture. In this situation, the smart contract detects a deficit of reserves and generates the special kind of token. When the price goes up again, these NSBTs can be liquidated. So traders can buy an SBT on the open auction through the Neutrino UI, which is seen on the screen, and set the price according to their expectations. Then, as you can see, the NSBT orders, buying orders are executed according to the first in, first out principle. Well, by design, NSBT allows users to speculate on the so-called BR parameter, or backing ratio, the proportion of reserves in relation to the supply of Neutrino. Simply put, backing ratio is the share of Wave's reserves in relation to the Neutrino supply. This means that in the state of complete equilibrium between supply and reserves, BR is equal to 1 or 100%. As a result of successful speculation or successful betting on a specific backing ratio, traders have a chance to generate profit in USDN when the BR rises. Now, right, let's talk about one particular feature which makes Neutrino stand out, which is staking. Some cryptocurrencies let their holders generate passive income. Most often, it can be found within platforms that implement a special consensus algorithm called proof of stake. Waves, for instance, uses a so-called leased proof of stake consensus mechanism, where mining nodes attract token holders and ask them to lease some of their Waves tokens to increase their so-called generating balance. And the more generating balance a node has, the more chance of mining a new block there is. While a new block is being mined, participants are rewarded with newly issued tokens and fees from the transactions in this mined block. The miner, the owner of the mining node, can then share this generated profit with its supporters or leasers. So Neutrino protocol uses staking to incentivize traders to generate USD neutrinos and buy NSBTs. All USDN or NSBT holders are receiving a fee from least collateralized Wave reserves on the smart contract in the form of USDN stablecoin. The amount of potential earnings from staking in USDN depends on when the staking started, on the amount of staked USDNs out of the total USDN supply, and on the current Waves market cap. Okay, so hopefully this gave you some ideas about how. Now, after this quick immersion into the technical side of Neutrino, let's talk about what comes in the future. First and foremost, we're planning the integration of a new model called collateral that would extend the existing Waves Neutrino swap procedure and allow users to collateralize, or in other words, pledge for later repayment, a certain amount of Waves tokens. The collateral functionality would create a cushion of over-collateralization, which would lead, even with a large USDN supply, to a smaller deficit of Waves, which also is very beneficial to the overall system. Also, due to over-collateralization, the yield of Neutrino staking would increase for all stakers, which is also very good. The second large milestone is Collider, The Neutrino protocol was designed to be a universal instrument for tokenization of different real-world assets. Despite the fact that USDN will probably remain the most popular Neutrino-based stablecoin, so-called Collider protocol would allow for the creation of hundreds of other assets secured by Waves tokens. Thus, Collider would open ways to use the existing system of smart contracts to tokenize such popular assets as gold, euro, S&P 500, and many others, including various national currencies. The final upcoming innovation is Neutrino enhancement proposals and governance. Considering that we need to systematically improve the functionality of Neutrino protocol, there needs to be a mechanism for smooth and secure updates and also decentralized updates of the smart contract. That's why we offer a special extension of the Neutrino protocol called Neutrino Enhancement Proposals and Governance. And with the help of decentralized governance, it will be possible to accept or reject changes to the system, including voting for mining nodes, price oracles, constants in smart contracts, various parameters, etc. Right, so I also really wanted to mention that one of the major reasons for Neutrino's successful beta launch and the current growth is the underlying technology. Waves platform has a wonderful tech stack and community which allowed us to successfully bootstrap this DeFi protocol and sustain a steady growth. It is more secure and straightforward to develop smart contracts in RIDE rather than VM languages such as Solidity. The overall Waves ecosystem is very transparent and provides easy-to-use tools for end users and developers alike. So we believe that in the long run, the stack that Neutrino uses is going to be a major competitive advantage over the stablecoins based on other blockchains. Right, to finish up my presentation, I want to briefly address some global ideas that we think are essential in this day and age to the entire DeFi ecosystem. At the moment, DeFi is more than just applications within one blockchain, such as Waves, Bitcoin, or Ethereum. To be really useful, we believe that DeFi applications should be built on new kinds of decentralized protocols, interchain protocols within hybrid trustless environments. And we strongly believe that we should collaborate across different groups of developers, ecosystems, and blockchains. And I can assure you that the team behind Neutrino protocol is working very hard in 2020 to make that a reality. Thank you very much.
Excellent. All right. So there's your Neutrino overview. Unfortunately, we couldn't get the team on for Q&A, but if you have any questions, please drop them in the chat, and we're going to make sure the team gets them later so we can get any questions answered.